Good evening, everyone. I'll call the Town of Wolfeboro Board of Selectmen meeting for December 20th, 2017 to order. Mr. Owen, we have some non-public tonight.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have a matter of real estate to discuss, and you also have some non-public meeting minutes to review.
Okay. Next, we have approval of the minutes. This is from a regular meeting dated December 6th, 2017. Board.
Yeah, I have one change on page 4. It will be the second paragraph down. It should read, Mrs. Murray stated that moving the re-eval to a year earlier would not allow for the cyclical update process to be completed as designed. That's the only change I have.
Are there changes from the board? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to accept the minutes as amended.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye.
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 Aye. Opposed?
I'll abstain.
Next, we have a public hearing. It's a proposed amendment to the town sewer ordinance.
Good evening, Dave Ford, Public Works. We had seen this earlier a few months ago, and a brief summary of what happened was we had done a specific program for developing best management practices for the fat, oils, and greases that people discharge into the wastewater system. And we went very much in detail in it, and there were certain requirements, and we developed a manual. And the consultant had said, hey, you can make this mandatory in fees. Well, we decided that that wouldn't make sense because it was going to be very difficult, almost have to hire a full-time person to implement it. So when we put it in there, we referenced it, and we said it's not required. And then we went on to say what was required. And still, you have to meet the building code. It's still a requirement. And the state thought that could be misread. So we had to take out the paragraph, which was referencing our separate BMP manual, or the Best Management Practice Manual, which is still as a reference document. And so here, all we're doing is kind of a correction to take out that one paragraph, and hopefully you have the document in front of you. And if you have any other questions, there is no substantial change to it. So it's more of a.
I'll open the public hearing. Anyone here to ask any questions? I'll close the public hearing, board.
Would you like a motion?
Yes.
I move to amend the town sewer ordinance section 12610, power of assessment and collection, by deleting the first paragraph under subsection F, fats, oils, and grease on page 18, and renumbering the remaining items under subparagraph F.
Second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next, we have the bulk vote, which includes weekly manifests, property tax abatements and refunds, property tax credits, exemptions, notices of intent to cut lumber, and acceptance of gifts under $1,000.
Mr. Chairman, I have an additional gift under $10,000, which I would ask your consideration for adding that to the bulk vote. It's $500 to the Welfare Department for fuel assistance.
Okay. Anyone have any issues with that? Okay.
You want a motion?
I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we add the check from the Wilburtons to the bulk vote.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And now a motion to accept the whole bulk vote.
I'll make a motion to approve the items listed in the agenda, items A through D above. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? In our new business, we start off with monthly budget expenditures and revenue report.
Good evening, Pete Chamberlain, Director of Finance. My report for the end of November, it should be at approximately 91.6% expended to date. And at this particular point, it's 87.26%, with the general fund at 88%, water fund at 92%, electric fund at 84%, the sewer fund at 92%, and Pop Whalen at 84% expended. I would like to, I presented you with an updated capital report for the general fund. In particular, I highlighted the items that were for Christine at the Parks and Rec. And the Clark House Museum maintenance was incorrect when I did my first version of the report, because they had $2,500 in painting expense to Kavanaugh Painting Company that was over in the Clark House 435 building maintenance account. So I journaled that back out of there in where it should have been in this article. They had originally estimated the painting to cost $4,200, and for some reason it did not cost that amount. The Kate Park stone wall, as you can see, remains mostly unexpended. She had mentioned to me that she had had an extremely hard time getting us any stonemason to come and actually do the work.
She said that, you know, she keeps getting these guys saying, yeah, they'll get, you know, do it, you know, next week, and they never show up, kind of thing. So,
How long can we keep on encumbering that? I mean, this is a 2015.
I mean, the auditor hasn't said anything to me about it yet, but as long as I was planning on, if I did have any carry forwards, I'm not sure I will, bringing them in front of the board the first meeting of next month. So I could do that. Just, I mean, it's up to you.
I mean, it'd be nice if she could at least get some kind of a bill or something, because obviously the work needed to be done. But
Trouble with doing a purchase order, you have to have a firm to...
that's, I understand that.
Yeah.
I got that.
I mean, I don't know if she's told the second guy whether they not to bother to come or not at this point, but I could ask her.
Yeah.
And then try to encourage him to show up in the spring.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I don't. The Clark House Museum Engineering originally was estimated by Ethan Hipple at $5,000, and you'll see that just as of late, Christine got a proposal that was $12,000 to do that. So obviously, $5,000 doesn't work to do that job. So that's going to go unexpended. I'll have to deal with it at another date, I would suppose. The others, the Brewster Beach and the Cary Beach bathrooms seem to be, you know, and pretty well taken care of. The swim team docks is all done. The Fossfield complex is done. And, you know, replacing outdated playground equipment seems to be in pretty good shape as far as expenditure.
How about, it says the rescue equipment upgrades, nothing's been done there, is that in the works?
The chief didn't get the grant on that one, so.
Oh, so this is going to be removed?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
going to be.
All right. Thank you.
Anything else for Pete on this?
Yeah, I thought I'd mention something about the revenues coming in this year. The water and sewer and electric revenues have been creeping up year by year by year, so you can see the effect of the rate planning has been doing pretty well. revenues overall are in good shape, you know, for the year, so. I'm not shy, I won't know, you know, what kind of surplus that's gonna, how that's gonna affect surplus until basically the auditors are gone in March, but it would seem to me we're in a reasonable place to be at the end of the year, so.
Good.
I would say.
Okay. You're doing the default budget too?
Yeah, please. Hopefully you've had a chance to look at my draft of the default budget. The default budget is prepared every year, and the general process used is to begin with the baseline of last year's, of the 2017 budget, and adjust it up or down for several things. One is for any contractual, like union agreements, salaries, if we have any contracts with that go over the end of the year with vendors, and then, however, there are no increases for non-union in this budget. There never are. Mm-hmm. And then certain one-time expenses, like capital items, are deleted. So this year, that number ends up being, as for next year, it should be $26,814,660 is the number.
Looks good.
Okey doke.
Thank you, Pete.
Thank you.
So we're just going to make a motion to approve and sign the 2018 town default budget in the amount of $26,814,660.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next, we have an agreement with New Hampshire Department of Justice.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have received a grant agreement contract, police department, with the New Hampshire Department of Justice, and I would ask the Board of Selectmen to approve entering into this agreement and to authorize your town manager to sign it on behalf of the board.
Board, any discussion?
I'll move that question. I'll second that.
The motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Ford, Public Works replacement of a DPW pickup truck. Mr. Ford?
Yep, thank you. As you know, it was only 2 weeks ago that we had this serious accident on Beach Pond Road from the highway workers. First, I'd like to give you an update. We have some good news. Excuse me. Wes is doing excellent. I did visit him on Monday at Health South, and his rehab is really well. Today he was checked out, and he's on his way home tonight, so good news there. The town also helped out. He will have a ramp, and he has a difficult situation, so we kind of went out there the other day and put in a driveway for him to help him so he could get in back in his truck right to that. We talked to the property owner and wanted to do that because he was coming home, and we were afraid that he might get hurt if he didn't have a place to get in there. So we did that, and any of the direct costs will get reimbursed by the fund if you're going to go for that. So again, he also wanted to thank everyone. He's overwhelmed by the generosity. And again, I would also like to personally thank all the different people who've helped out with the different fundraisers and all the thoughts and prayers for all the people, out there. That being said, we still have the business to run the town. One of the things that happened was the pickup truck, HD 18, was totaled. And while we have a rental for 30 days, we do need to replace that truck. The insurance adjuster gave us a value of $22,000. It was a 2013 Dodge Crew Cab, 4-wheel drive, half-ton. on the market now. I'm not sure if anyone's looking for used trucks, but it's kind of amazing. And I did try to find something, but there was nothing we could find that was close. We did find something from Tim's Truck Capital. It was a 2009 Dodge with 144,000 miles, and it was $19,000. It was, again, a similar type of car, but it was just so much older, and the miles was crazy. So the good news is, due to municipal discounts, we were able to locate a similar vehicle from a Goss Chrysler, and it's a almost a $41,000 vehicle with a discount of over $11,000, so for a net just under $29,000. Only problem is it will be silver, so we'd want to paint it orange. We have to tack on another $3,000 for that. So the net would be a $10,000 hit. And what we did is went back to our capital reserve account to help us in cases like this. So this one seems to be something where we have to make some adjustments in the coming years. But again, now we have a new truck, so that extends this replacement out another 5 years. So it kind of fits right in. And so we're looking to his authorization to go forward with this purchase so we can get going and to use that money from the capital reserve account.
I'm assuming, David, that any lights or radios or any of that stuff is transferable into the new vehicle?
Yeah, that was one of the things after the insurance adjuster and the police reports were done. We did strip that. That came out of the equipment already.
Now, is that stuff that you can put back, or the highway crew can put back in the vehicle?
Normally, the radios, we have a subcontractor to do that. As far as the other stuff, I don't think we had to take out the flashing lights. There was too much, at that point. So what we did take out, I'm sure we can reuse.
Okay.
So this 10,000 will cover all that?
Correct.
Okay. I think it makes sense. We still keep a positive number going out years, and I support this purchase.
I'll second your motion.
The motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Being none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, as one, I was supposed to be making a report to the selectmen about the Route 28 steering committee. I can do it at the end of the meeting, or I can do it real quick right now.
Sure.
Is that okay?
Sure.
And listen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As you know, the Route 28 Steering Committee, kind of a subcommittee of the Board of Selectmen, was re-engaged this fall with the effort of trying to come up with a process in which we can identify the different alternatives for the Route 28 corridor. As we also know that right now DOT is in their 10-year plan with the beginning of their preliminary engineering and right-of-way surveys to start this fiscal year. We had started this process years ago, and this committee was formed. We rushed and got ready to do the Center Street portion of it, and then it went on hold. Again, so we got it going again, and the intent was to tell you what's going on. We're making some good progress. I think the big thing is, though, we feel that because it's been such a long time since we've had the last public meetings, and certain things have changed, we thought it was beneficial to go ahead and hold 2 more public hearings. One to be specifically on Pickering Corner, to look at the multiple options we're looking at, and with regards to a do-nothing option with certain minimum upgrades, to a 3-way traffic signal, to a 4-way traffic signal if Brewster were to move their main entrance over, and also looking at a roundabout, which would be a 4-legged roundabout. So a lot of interesting things have been going on, and again, we think the need would be to have a public hearings, and here we've set those dates. So we're looking at January 18th at 6:30 p.m. here at the Great Hall, and we'll get a lot of information out to the public on that. We'd like to have a nice turnout. Again, then we'll have a follow-up one in February 22nd, which would be to look at the other major intersections, which would mainly be out by the hospital, public safety building, library, as what's going on there, and then also up by the school, McManus Road. So we think that could have a night dedicated to that, and one night dedicated to Pickering Corner. And then the intent would be, after we get all the public input, we've looked at all the different impacts, the committee would hopefully find a supermajority and agree to certain suggestions, recommendations to DOT. We would bring that back to the board. If the board concurred, then we could pass that on to DOT and hope that this spring, as they start up there, we could be right along working with them. So, again, big project, and just want to keep you guys aware. If you have any questions, we'd be more happy to answer it. Thank you for taking the time. Sorry about it being such late. We've just been scrambling on it. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah. Should we
Can you
call?
call, Mr. Orm, can you call Dave Bowers?
See if he's going to come.
Skip this next one till the end. We'll move to the Chief Pidio's here, the amendment to the town's no smoking policy.
Here, Dave, you got it?
Chief?
Good evening. James Piniel, Fire Chief, Wolfeboro Fire Rescue. I had some previous conversations with the town manager with regards to our existing smoking policy. In my tenure here, we've run into some minor problems with use of tobacco. We've worked on addressing it with the individuals on a one-on-one basis. We have not been successful. I'm coming and asking for an addendum to the policy. I did reach out to some other communities who had some more robust policies and essentially used their verbiage. What I'm looking for is to be able to look at our employees and say, we promote your health and wellness. We'd like for you to do the same. And specific to my department is the use of chewing tobacco.
I just have one question. After we made the change, would you then hand this policy out to everybody so they see the new policy?
Yeah, when we had our...
Wrong number. You have the right number?
I do.
Yep. Somebody...
When we had our preliminary conversation,
Yep.
There was discussion with those individuals with regard to the Employee Assistance Program to help them with cessation of the use of chewing tobacco.
We're just trying
Yep,
to
no,
find
I
out.
understand.
There's his home.
I'm just looking for a little bit more teeth to be able to hold our employees to a little higher standard. And again, the language that I provided you was from a neighboring community. It seemed much more proactive than addressing just one form of tobacco.
And that's going to go at the end of the no smoking policy?
Yeah, it would be an addendum to the
Addendum
no
to
smoking
it.
policy. It would just define tobacco products within the policy.
Entertain a motion to...
Yeah, I will move to approve the following addendum to the town's no smoking policy. The restrictions set forth in this no smoking policy shall apply to the use of all tobacco or similar products, including but not limited to chewing tobacco, e-cigarettes, cigars, cigarillos, snuff, and medical marijuana.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Mr. Bowers will join us telephonically here.
Okay. Okay, I've got you on my phone, and we're going to go through the warrant articles. Maybe you want to have it by
Okay, yeah,
you.
Dave, we're going to go through the warrant articles again here, so. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, thanks, Dave. The first one is library renovation and expansion project. See if this is a town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $5 million to be funded library expansion and renovation project. Any discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.
Okay, 5-0.
Next, we have construction of Westwood Drive, subject to betterment assessments. All in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Dave? Aye. 5-0. Next, we have stormwater collection and system asset management plan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0. Next, we have the town road upgrades. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 5-0. Next, we have reconstruction of the 390 line. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.
Can we skip the dockside
We'll
docks?
skip the dockside dock one. Next, we have dockside public restrooms. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
5-0. Next, we have the affluent disposal study. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
5-0. Next, we have sewer rehabilitation. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
5-0. Replace water treatment plant control panels. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. 5-0. And then Pine Street water line replacement. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
5-0. A Street sidewalk. All in favor, aye.
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 We should hold that
Dave?
for next meeting.
This is the one we'll hold
Yep.
out. Okay. And then we have dockside parking lot capital reserve fund. All in favor, aye.
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 That one, I had made a potential change to,
The parking lot?
was that the parking lot?
Yeah, we pulled the
Oh,
other.
I'm sorry.
Pulled those other two out already.
Okay, that's the parking lot. You're right, okay.
Next, we have the fire trucks and apparatus replacement capital reserve fund. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
We have public works vehicles and equipment capital reserve fund. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Yeah, there were two.
Same thing.
Abenaki ski area capital reserve fund. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Wastewater treatment plant capital reserve fund. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have building maintenance capital reserve fund. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
And then we have Libby Museum feasibility study. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Dave? Okay. And Lakes Region Model Railroad Museum extension of time. All in favor, aye.
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 Okay.
Now we need to go back to.
Okay, we're gonna go back to dockside docks.
Wait,
Yes.
and I believe I provided the board some potential language for breaking that into two warrant articles, one that had to do with doing the emergency repairs and the engineering and design work for needed repairs to the existing facilities. And then the second warrant article was for the engineering and permitting of the expansion of the town docks. So it's breaking it into two pieces, one having to do with the existing town docks and repairing those, and the second one related to expanding the town docks. That's an agreeable way to go about it.
Yeah, I think based on the feedback that we got from the Budget Committee, that is our best option. On the one where we're repairing the dockside docks, number one was making emergency repairs. There was some question on a member of the Budget Committee and whether we should say making immediate repairs, because that's what this report had said, and whether we, at the end of that, as cited in the Ty and Bond report, that would show the Budget Committee that that's what we're working off of, and that's what we're going to do in this warrant article. I think that might clarify some things for them.
Needed repairs instead of emergency repairs?
Yep.
Immediate.
Immediate.
Yep. And then tie it into this report.
As per the Ty and Bond report.
Mm-hmm. I think that will take care of that issue for them.
Okay, I can make those changes.
Should we vote on it now, though?
I would think so. Yeah.
Y'all, any other discussion on that one? All in favor of that as Linda amended it? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Dave? And then the next one was the dockside capital reserve fund.
Well,
Then it's one, the dockside dock expansion,
Okay.
which is the second part of that old warrant article. That's for $25,000 for
Okay, switch it.
designing and permitting the expansion of the docks.
Okay. We'll break that out. All in favor of that wording? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And then the capital reserve fund. What was the issue on this again?
Yeah, this one, and as far as I'm concerned, the wording makes sense to me, but I'm wondering whether there's going to be an issue if you say for the purpose of repairing and improving, whether they'll think that has anything to do with expanding. I don't know. It's just a question. I don't have a strong feeling to have to change it or not, but I don't know if anybody else would read it that way.
Repairing and...
It says improving. I'm asking it more of a question. Do you think they're going to have any issue with that? Dave, do you think
I don't.
they'll? Okay.
I think that's the right wording.
Okay. I'm fine with that then.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay.
okay, very
We're
good.
done with warrant articles. Okay, Dave, I'll let you go. So we'll see you soon.
By the way, I talked to the college hospital the other day, and he said he's overwhelmed with the response. He said, when I first started working here, I thought I didn't like it. Now I love the town.
Well, that's great to hear. Thanks, Dave.
Everybody, Merry Christmas. Bye.
Okay.
Okay, next we have a discussion about setting a date to tape the warrant article presentation. Mr. Owen?
Yes, I believe Wolfeboro Community TV gave us a couple days that would be their preferred dates.
Okay.
And they indicated that they could do it on a couple other dates also, but they wanted to avoid Thursdays if at all possible.
I was gonna say, for either one of those dates work for me, so.
A Tuesday's better for me than a Friday. I have grandkids on Friday. So if we could do it Tuesday, the 16th, that
That's fine with me.
would work best for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Time?
I think Tim's up there. What time should we be there, Tim? 1:30, something like that? 1:30 Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, when are we going to sign up for the warrant articles for that meeting? Or do we want to do it on the first meeting in January, or
Can we do it then?
I would think so.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Next we have town manager search. Linda?
Okay, yep. I just would like to kind of go over the timeline, and then we need to take a look at each of the documents. As you all know, we were able to get a salary range between $90,000 and $120,000 and $3,000 of miscellaneous expense in the 2018 budget. We're going to need to have the ad placed the first week in January. There'll be 5 weeks, so the first full week in February, MRI will be scoring the resumes based on the ideal candidate's profile and challenge statement, which we also will need to look at tonight. And MRI at that time will cut the pool down to 12 to 15 candidates. Then they will send out the essay questions to those 12 to 15 candidates. The third week, they'll come back, and about the 23rd of February, and they'll cut it to 10 to 12. Then they'll do, in the fourth week of February, they'll do preliminary background checks, phone interviews, and by around the 14th of March, they should have it down to 6 semifinalists. The interview panels will meet the week of March 19th, and the board will need to pick a finalist. Board's responsibility, the board's going to need to find a place to do these 3 interviews. We're going to need to post a notice for the community members and staff for the interview panel. We're going to have to, at our February 21st Board of Selectmen's meeting, we're going to have to pick the members for those panels. We're going to need to set a date the week of the 19th or the week of the 26th. And the week of the 26th, the board is also going to have to do a final interview with the hope of announcing the new town manager in the beginning of April. And we're going to also have to decide, based on when that new town manager is going to arrive, when we're going to do a reception for Dave Owen. So that's kind of a rerun again. I've taken the manager's recruitment ad and plugged in some new information, and I want us to kind of review that, make sure everybody's in agreement that this looks okay. I've changed the year-round population to 6,500 and the summertime population to 30,000. I think that's what it is. Does anybody? It was 20,000 before, but I think we get larger than 20,000. Does anybody have any issue?
I think that'd be fine.
Those are fine? I put 26 million, it was 25 million before for our operating budget. I've bolded my changes. You can see I changed the salary, and then down at the bottom I changed the date when these are going to need to come back into MRI. Is there any other change you would like me to make to this ad before I email it out to Alan Gould?
I think it looks good.
Dave, you have any? Okay, so I will, unless somebody comes up with something, okay, you got something, Dave?
The only thing I would say is the operating budget of 26 million includes enterprise funds, water, sewer, electric, and
Includes
Includes for enterprise.
I mean
enterprise
enterprise funds.
funds, okay,
That's half of the budget, so
funds.
that could make a difference. And
Do you want it,
that
do you want to list
reasonable?
it, or do you want to put 4?
I would put 4 and then list them so they know.
And then list them?
So they know what they're dealing with.
Okay.
I would.
Water, sewer. Okay. I will add that, and then I will send a revised one out. And if I get it, I will send it through Mr. Owen to make sure it reads okay, and if it does, I'm okay to send it forward? Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the ideal candidate's profile. And then that goes over to... and on this one, these were ones that we had done before. I have put a line through the words I thought needed to come out, and I've bolded and italicized new paragraphs or wording that I've done. So I'll give you a few minutes to read that.
I see right now, Lynn, on the first page there, that first paragraph underneath the box section there, we have crossed out predominantly.
Yeah?
Might want to leave the word in there
Oh, yep,
with seasoned staff of department heads.
you're right. Thank you.
And on the second page, in the third full paragraph, the second line, I think there's a couple extra words maybe. The next challenge will be the use, the towns, I think the use can come out.
What, your third paragraph?
Yes. Third full paragraph. Second line. Will be the use, the town's feasibility study.
Oh, okay.
I think it will be the town's
Yep.
feasibility study. Okay.
To use. Okay. Yep.
Do you want to add an S on
To
town
use,
manager?
okay, to use, yeah, that works.
Where's it need to be the S?
On town manager on the first line of that paragraph. The town manager's next challenge.
Okay. So, yeah, okay, I got that one, okay.
Looks fine. Now, is this stuff you're sending up to MRI?
Yeah, with the changes, I'll send those two things. The essay questions, these I had in Word. The essay questions, I did not have in Word, and I thought that's later, and I'll see if he can send it to us in Word, and then if we want to change anything. But I'll send those others out with those changes, and that's all I have. Oh, I know, one last thing. One of the members on the Budget Committee asked whether we wanted to make a requirement that they live in town, and I think before we said no.
Well, as long as they're accessible.
Yeah, I don't feel a need that they have to live in town.
No, I agree.
That's okay? All right. Yep.
Ms. Linda?
Any comment on that, David?
I wouldn't recommend a residency requirement.
Okay.
I don't think it makes much sense for communities like this. It's usually sort of hard-pressed inner core communities that have residency requirements. You might be restricting your applicant pool also.
Yep.
Well, we signed a contract.
Next, we have old business. Is there any old business? Any other business? I'll read this. The Wolfeboro Budget Committee will hold a public hearing on Thursday, January 4th, 2018, with the possible continuance vote on Tuesday, January 9th, 2018 at 7 p.m. at the Great Hall here. Presentation of the proposed appropriations for the town of Wolfeboro deliberative session scheduled for February 6, 2018, with voting scheduled for March 13, 2018. Discussion on the above with answers and questions. Any other business that may be legally come before the Budget Committee.
When are they having a public hearing?
The 4th.
January 4th?
Mm-hmm.
Any other business? Town Manager's report?
Just a few things, Mr. Chairman. One, you've already gotten a report on West Smollich's improvement. I thought I would mention that the West Smollich Family Relief Fund, which I reported to you last week, had received $4,520, is now up to $7,775 as of close of business today, so almost double. Did you want to mention the last night?
I can do that in my report if you want to do that.
We are currently taking applications for the Josiah Brown Scholarship Awards, which are, the applications are due by the end of this month. And so we have a notice out in the paper and on the website and such. So we're, trying to solicit applications for those scholarships funds at this time. As you know, the scholarship program is sort of set up to benefit sort of financially challenged families and students with its income guidelines and such. You received in your packet a copy of a letter that we received from the State Lottery Commission, I think it was, about their new Keno offering. I haven't heard of any interest in doing anything with Keno here in Wolfeboro. It does require a warrant article if the community is interested in pursuing it. I was at a Lakes Region town managers meeting last Friday, and the only communities in the Lakes region that were there that are doing anything with Keno are Laconia, which has already started it. I think actually last Friday was the first day it was going into effect. And Elmont, I believe, is putting it on the town warrant just to see what people have to say about it. And I think you have to have a fully licensed facility separate from a restaurant, like a tavern or a cocktail lounge or something like that. I don't know if we have any any establishments that would be interested in that or not. So that was just for your information. Also, you received some correspondence from the Lake Winnipesaukee Association to the effect that they're setting up a advisory committee where they're going to be looking for individuals from the communities of Moultonboro, Tuftonboro, and Wolfeboro to be on this advisory committee. This is a advisory committee to oversee the development of a watershed management plan for Moultonboro Bay and Winter Harbor.
Okay.
And finally, I just wanted to remind everybody that the town offices will be closed this Friday, the 22nd, and next Monday, the 25th. The solid waste facility will be closed this Sunday and Monday, so it will be open Friday, Saturday, but closed Sunday and Monday. I think that's all I have.
Thank you. Committee reports, start down there with Brad.
Yes, let's see, last week we had a Friends of Liberty Museum meeting, and let's see, this morning we had a Wolfeboro Community TV meeting up at the school, and last night a planning board hearing, which pretty much entailed a public hearing on the zoning changes that the planning board is proposing to put on the warrants this year. That was it for me.
Dave?
Route 28 meeting, the only thing I have.
Linda?
Okay, I went to the Economic Development Committee meeting. They were looking at some documents they had in preparation for the master plan. We had a conversation about the warrant articles, and the EDC is going to send a letter of support for the dock expansion and also a letter of support for the Bay Street sidewalk. They will be going to the Budget Committee. I went to the Chamber Board meeting and quarterly meeting. I joined Dave at the Route 28 Steering Committee, and I also have brought some information that was in your packet. It's about last night in Wolfeboro. We've got ads in the Laker. It's going to be in the Granite State News. It's on WMUR and Foster and WMUR. And we're going to start at 11. We're going to have a scavenger hunt. You're going to meet up here in the Great Hall, and there will be clues throughout town. That'll go from 11 to 1. In the entranceway of the Great Hall, up the clock tower stairs will be the Abenaki ski team with selling food at a concession stand. At 1:30 to 2:30, we're going to have Just Bob and Marla, interactive music and puppetry. It'll be up here in this great hall. At 3, we're going to follow with Tricky Dick the Magician. He'll be up here. That's an hour show. We figured maybe some of the younger kids would want to sit for a full hour, so we're going to have downstairs in the front hall the Balloon Man.
Balloon Man.
Yeah, Balloon Man. At 4:30 to 6, we're going to have bingo up here. That'll be Parks and Rec. And then over at All Saints Episcopal Church from 4:30 to 6, the Balloon Man will be set up there, and there'll also be a lasagna dinner from 5 to 6:30. Adults, $10, children, and $5 for children. Under 5, they will be free, $30 per family. The chamber will set off their fireworks at 6:30. And up here again at the Great Hall, there'll be contra dancing for 7 to 9. So we're hoping to have a good turnout. And do you want to see a picture? You should see these all, and we did put a map on the back so people might know where this Great Hall was and the All Saints Church. That's all I have.
Thanks, Linda. Questions from the press? Thank you. Public input, limited to 3 minutes per resident, not to exceed 15 minutes in total. Okay.
Move we go to non-public?
I'll second it.
Yes?
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.